psychology only really got moving about 100 years ago. And it started out with things like psychoanalysis and that sort of thing. Everybody's pretty familiar. If you go and get a degree in psychology, you'll be very familiar with the problems of psychoanalysis and much more. But that dominated really what psychologists were taught as therapy for a long, long time. And it's only really recently that things like cognitive behavioral therapy, more recently ACT, acceptance, commitment therapy, these sort of things take a very different approach. And they're more behavioral based. In some ways, they're similar to strategic psychotherapy insofar as they look at processes to some extent. They try to modify behavior rather than analyzing where the behaviors come from. So there is a greater focus on things like CBT and ACT in attacking the problem and not so much being concerned with the origins. But strategic psychotherapy goes a lot further than that, because it actually looks at the processes that support, let's call it the problem, whether it be anxiety or alcoholism or whatever however you want to label the problem. The label's not important, but what strategic psychotherapy does is it gives you tools to attack the processes and gives you quite a detailed articulation of those processes and how to undermine them. And really, I think in some ways, it's a huge step forward beyond what you get with CBT or ACT. And really, I think it's the next big sort of stage in the development of mental health therapy.